Revelation 17:16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. Call of Allah, Bashim Mashiach Yahushai, Bashim Kakadash. Double honors to mighty men, the elders, and apostles in the community, waking up the lost sheep, the house of Israel in these last days. Peace and blessings to everyone teaching this truth in humbleness and sincerity. I'm going to say shalom. We're going to go into a few articles and some scriptures, and we're going to line it down. Okay, we're going to further with the elder. Shout out to Brother Malcolm from GMS. He put out a video a few days ago going into the Nord Stream pipeline, and all of a sudden, both of them are just destroyed. Let's read this article. Wow, I'm already running into narratives, family, where they're saying Russia did it, which makes absolutely no sense, because if they built the pipelines, why the hell would they blow them up? Meanwhile, the president of Russia, he had a switch, so it didn't make no sense for them to do that. But that's a Western narrative. Okay, let's go into the article. Let's read the article. I believe I had an account in Al Jazeera. Okay, it reads, sudden leaks in 2 gas pipelines from Russia to Germany have triggered fears of sabotage. What happened and what will be the impact? Then I'm going to try to open this article. I tried this with Epoch Times, only to discover they want subscriptions, so I hope that's not the case, but let's find out. I have to search it from another search engine. Let's see, I'm going to open it up. Okay, Al Jazeera reports, it says a gas leak in Nord Stream 2 pipeline is seen from the Danish F-16 intercept in Bornholm, Denmark. Okay. It says Nord Stream pipeline leaks. What happened? What's the impact? Now the elder from GMS, he actually had some videos. I show this one picture. Slovakia. You see? This is the big news going on quietly while Babylon the Great only worried about football, entertainment, all the BS to keep the people asleep, while you have, to me, a declaration of war. And, just looking at the image in the background there, okay, America going to get caught slipping. So a lot of sources saying the West had their part in that, but we're going to see. Let's carry on with the article. Slovakia. It says Nord Stream pipeline leaks. What happened? What's the impact? Okay. It says unusual leaks in 2 gas pipelines running from Russia under the Baltic Sea to Germany trigger concerns about sabotage. Sudden and unexplained gas leak detected in Nord Stream 1 and 2 pipelines from Russia to Germany have prompted investigation by European countries into the cause amid fears of possible sabotage. Denmark Armed Forces on Tuesday released video showing bubbles rushing to the surface of Baltic Sea above the pipeline, Slovakia, and the largest gas leak had caused surface disturbance of well over 1 kilometer in diameter. An energy standoff over Russia's war in Ukraine halted flows through Nord Stream 1 and prevented onset of flows through the parallel Nord Stream 2. Plunging Russian gas supplies have caused prices to soar in Europe, where countries have struggled to find alternative supplies of energy used to heat homes, generate electricity, and run factories. I'm going to read this paragraph again. That's the seriousness of what actually happened. It says plunging Russian gas supplies have caused prices to soar in Europe, where countries have struggled to find alternative supplies of energy used to heat homes, generate electricity, and run factories. It says the leaks overshadowed the inauguration of long-awaited Baltic pipeline that will bring Norwegian gas to Poland in efforts to bolster Europe's energy independence from Moscow. Here's a breakdown of what is known so far. And it's a big thing, family. You're talking to someone that's actually been to Europe. I spent time in Frankfurt, Germany. It was a wonderful getaway many years ago. Had a very long layover, okay, in London. It was London Heathrow. It's like a 9-hour layover when I was going to visit the slave castles in Cape Coast in West Africa many years ago, okay? So I remember when I made those trips, it was pretty cold. Hey, you know, Slovakia, it get cold here on the East Coast. New York, especially where I'm at, New York State, okay, the Canadian border, you know, Northeast region, the Babylon the Great into Canada is also freezing cold. But Europe is another level of cold. You know, they're surrounded by more water than, you know, us here on the East Coast, you know, here in New York. They can worry about the Atlantic, but it's a different type of cold in Europe. Okay, so it's a serious ordeal. And the Western media, you know, I found an account, even End Time Headlines reported that, you know, and they had to pull this account from a Western narrative. They said Russian submarines were there, which makes no sense because the Russians helped build the pipeline, not Slovakia. The Russians, along with the Europeans, built that together, so it makes no sense. You're already getting the Western narrative that Russia did that. That's a damn lie. It's a huge ordeal because how these people gonna, Slovakia, how they're gonna be warm in the heat, Slovakia in the deep of a cold winter, and you know, Slovakia, a dark winter, because how are you gonna survive in Europe without no form of heat? You're talking families, you're talking millions, multitudes of people in Europe. Israelites as well, that's jammed up, are going to be affected. And we saw that during the lockdown, or maybe the year after the lockdown. Okay, we remember when Texas froze over. I believe their governor went to Mexico in fear. Y'all remember that? That's what's going to happen. It'll take them years to repair the damages. Let's carry on. It says Nord Stream, Slovakia. Here's a breakdown of what is known so far. Nord Stream 1 pipeline. Take a look at this. See that? There's some serious stuff right here, family. Go carry on with the article. It says, what happened? The operator of Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline reported a sudden drop in pressure overnight on Monday, with a spokesperson suggesting there could have been a leak. This was followed by a Danish Energy Authority statement that a leak had likely occurred in one of the two Nord Stream 2 pipelines lying in Danish waters. A few hours later, Nord Stream AG, operator of another undersea gas pipeline from Russia to Germany, said it was looking into a drop in pressure in Nord Stream 1. Okay. Sweden's maritime administrator said on Tuesday that it had warned of 2 leaks in Nord Stream 1 in Swedish and Danish waters, and Puck Nielsen, a researcher with the Center of Maritime Operations at the Royal Danish Defence College, said the timing of the leaks was conspicuous given the ceremony for the Baltic Pipe, a new system that will bring Norway's gas to Poland. He said perhaps someone sought to send a signal that something could happen to Norwegian gas. But I think if we look at who would actually benefit from disturbances, more chaos on the gas market in Europe. Okay? I think there's basically only one actor right now that actually benefits from more uncertainty, and that is Russia. See, and they just pointing the finger on Russia. I disagree with that narrative. Because when you go into the history, who set up these pipelines, Russia had a huge part in building it. So that narrative makes no sense. We're going to carry on. We're going to jump down. It's a lot of weight here. I'm going to go down to the potential impact. I got this little video clip. I'm going to try to run that. And we're going to wind it down with the scriptures. Because to say Russia did it, that makes no sense. But that's what the West is going to say. But moving on. Potential impact. The extent of the damage means the Nord Stream pipelines are unlikely to be able to carry any gas to Europe. This winter, even if there was political will to bring them online. Analysis at the Eurasia Group said, depending on the scale of the damage, leaks could have even means a permanent closure of both lines. Analysts say leaks of size are severe safety and environmental hazards, especially should Russia not stop pumping gas into the system, the analysis said. Gas leaking from the damaged Nord Stream 2 pipeline in the Baltic Sea will continue for several days and perhaps even a week, Danish Energy Authority said. Vessels could lose buoyancy if they enter the sea, and they might be at risk of leaked gas igniting over the water and in the air, but there were no risks associated with the leaks outside explosion zone, it said. The leak would only affect environment in the area of which the gas plume in the water column is located, and the escape of the greenhouse gas methane would have a damaged impact on the climate. Danish authorities asked that the level of preparedness in Denmark's power and gas sector be raised after the leaks. A step that would require heightened safety procedures for power installations and facilities. So it's a lot going on there. And Europe's prepping. Slovakia, Europe's getting ready for one dark winter, as our president's been warning us, since this guy, took the White House, okay? And it don't even matter, because our people shouldn't be jammed up in no more politics. I've been warning y'all, the Hebrew Israelite been warning y'all, the Hebrew Israelite community been warning y'all of the pending judgment to come. And this do go into the famine, plague, and pestilence that's been sent. Okay, the Most High, He's chiefly behind this. Isaiah 45:7, the Most High created good and evil. It's there. Okay, but this is a huge step into the deliverance of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. This is what this is truly going into. Because the nations, eventually, they're going to turn on America. Before I wind it down with some scripture, Slovakia, just thinking about going into this video. I'm going to run a short segment. Let me see how this plays out. And I'll just go into the scriptures and we'll wind it down. But that's a serious ordeal that went down. And again, huge shout out to Brother Malcolm from the GMS camp. He brought out a stunning revelation of what's going on, and our media outlets aren't even covering it. Okay? So let me see. Let's see what this breakdown is about. Then we get some scriptures and I'll wind it down. Let me see. Well, I won't. I'm gonna shut that down. That's a little longer than I thought, but the narrative is Russia's behind it. To me, that makes no sense. Let's get some precepts. One moment. Let's get some scriptures, and we just gonna wind it down for the day, family. I was half asleep, coming off another long week at that damn plantation, but we just get some scriptures, and we gonna wind it down. Okay, give me a moment. Let's go into the scriptures, and I'm gonna wind it down, because they have to investigate what caused it. The narrative that the Russians did it is just an obvious Western narrative. Because when you go into the whole Ukraine v. Russia saga, who set up a puppet government, Slovakia, in the 90s? It was the United States of America. And that whole setup, when you do the homework and research that, that was to take over Russia. And since Vladimir Putin took over in power, he told the West, NATO, the EU, stay off his borders, man. There are many videos out there to support that. But what did Creepy Joe and Harley Quinn do? It got so bad once they took over to the point this war broke out. Now, it may be a 6-7 month long proxy right now, but it won't be a proxy forever, family. You got to consider this on top of your aftermath pandemic, all these other pestilence on the earth right now. It's not going to end with some pipeline that's been compromised. Okay? It's going to get worse. Let's get the scriptures. Let's get let's just get some judgments quickly. Slovakia. I lost my precepts. So our people here in Babylon the Great, we continue to believe this narrative that America's going to reign forever and ever. There's no way the most wicked country ever, kingdom of all time, is going to reign forever and ever. It ain't nothing but a modern day Sodom and Gomorrah. And we know the history of ancient Sodom and Gomorrah. So this entire region is soon, Slovakia, it will soon be blown off its foundation, never to be inhabited ever again. That's what's going to happen to America. When the nations turn on this place, and I see the image in the background. I pray for this day, because if it don't happen, there's no exodus for the 12 tribes. We'll never go home. Okay? Let's get Isaiah 33:1. Because give it season. Give it a little time. Word has it the West had their part in that, but give it time. Give it some time. It'll surface. Okay? This is Isaiah 33:1. We coming out of Isaiah 33. It says, woe to thee that spoils, and thou was not spoiled, and dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled, and when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. And that day is really going into these nations that's going to turn on America. And going into the end time prophecy, they're going to destroy America, man. You're on, crack cocaine. If you believe this wicked society is going to thrive forever and ever. You see the destruction, and on that destruction, before I carry on, look what the Most High doing to Florida. Okay? Now you had these, Sodom and Gomorrah type laws passed, I believe, in Cuba, and all their power went out. Okay? The Most High judged them quickly. There's no way this place is going to make it. And the road, the ideologies of these wicked kings that's currently in power, it won't work. And, this is really a cry out to those in the world, those of us in the know of the knowledge of this truth, keeping the law, statutes, commandments of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, continue to do so. But if you follow the ways of Babylon the Great, you're going to suddenly be taken in destruction. Okay? Moving on. Luke 11:17. It says, but he, knowing their thoughts, said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and a house divided against a house falleth. Okay? And there's a lot of division in Europe. I believe it was Italy, and another part in Europe. You got conservative winners coming out of these elections, and you got all hell breaking loose with the so-called liberals or those leftists or whatever you want to call it. For our people, the diaspora, come out of that. Just come home to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob before time literally runs out. Because this, slack, it's a buildup. And this buildup must continue. Okay, this buildup must carry on prior to this great judgment. Shout out to HODC Camp. The captain was bringing out, when that seventh trumpet go off, that's our calling card. But other prophecies, obviously the trumpets and the seals, other things got to play out. Major prophecies got to continue to happen before it's leading into this Exodus, Slakia. That's what we need, man. We need true deliverance. Voting can't help us no more. The only thing we need to do is keep these commandments and pray for the destruction of the wicked, the fall of our enemies, that we are delivered out this place, man. Okay? Let's carry on. Let's get Micah 5:12 and 15. Okay, and it reads, and I will cut off witchcrafts out of thine hand, and thou shalt have no more soothsayers. Thy graven images also will I cut off, and thy standing images out of the midst of thee, and thou shalt no more worship the works of thine hands, and I will pluck up thy groves out of the midst of thee, so will I destroy thy cities. It's going into that destruction, I'm telling y'all. And I will execute vengeance and anger and fury upon the heathen, such as they had not heard. And that's a gashing on this spiritual doctrine that all people can get the kingdom. And when you go into this, and this isn't hardly debate. The heritage before you, going into the Torah and the volume of the book, is for the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Okay? There's neither Jew nor Greek nonsense. Okay? You had a split in the kingdom. Northern kingdom broke loose. When you go into 70 AD, when you read John 7 and 35, okay, who's dispersed among the Gentiles? One of the elders, shout out to the IUIC camp, I believe it was Elder Yawasab, he brought out a solid lesson. The Southern Kingdom had to go into the other nations to talk to those Gentiles, but those Gentiles wasn't some white supremacists or heathen. It was dealing with Hellenized Hebrew Israelites. And there's just too much scripture to support this narrative. So I find it goofy that you get clowns like Vocab Malone talk about it's for everyone, but he can never prove it. And none of these heathens that hate our damn guts, by the way, can prove the salvation for them while they're destroying the damn planet, going into these white supremacists. It makes no sense. But salvation is truly for the nation of Israel. Okay? And our people got to come to grips with it. But, sadly, this is only for a remnant. Okay, but moving on. We're going to get... let's read Psalms 110, 5 and 6. Okay? So the Most High going to confound the wicked, man. And he's going to confound the wicked of the wicked Israelites, okay? Slakia. The wicked of our people going to get confounded and destroyed as well with masses who they so love. And masses set the stage for destruction. They operate on the left-hand side. Okay? It says, the day of the Lord... Okay, Psalms 10, 5, and 6. I'm coming out of For Sign and Wonder. It's just a big precept book. That's all this thing is. It helps me out, though. It says, the Lord at thy right hand shall strike through kings in the day of his wrath. I'm going to read that from the top. The Lord at thy right hand shall strike through kings in the day of his wrath. He shall judge among the heathen. He shall fill the places with the dead bodies. He shall wound the heads over many countries. So that this God is love madness that America so pushes. They're going to be confounded in this judgment, man. This judgment is approaching, family. Okay? And it's going to increase. Read that again. Psalms 110, 5 and 6. The Lord at thy right hand shall strike through the kings in the day of his wrath. Okay? He shall judge among the heathen. He shall fill the places with dead bodies. He shall wound the heads over many countries. Okay, so I'm going to see if I get one more count, and I'm going to wind it down. I just want to share this with y'all. That's all. Let's see if I can get one more count for y'all. Let me see. I'm actually using my RT application. Most of these apps were shut down when the whole Russia-Ukraine thing popped off, right? Trying to find any account regarding this pipeline coming from RT. They're not even covering it. Let me see. One moment. There it is. I'm just trying to look at the RT account regarding this. All right, it said, who wins from demolishing the EU gas lifelines? Now, see, this is an account from RT. I had to go here, man. Versus the accounts that I recently brought out, Russia did. The Russians did it. The Russians did it. That makes no sense. But look what's coming from Russia. See that? Because the United States media outlet is the monster of propagandas, man. Now, y'all see what they're saying. This is coming from Moscow. Let's see if I can carry on with this. It says, past covert ops and sabotage provide clues to apparently deliberate destruction of Nord Stream pipelines. Now, this is coming from Moscow. Let's read on. I'm just scrolling through quickly. It's a lot. I don't really have too much time to go through it, but I'm just trying to find like key takes on this. This paragraph reads, Slovakia. Coming out of this article, it says Biden himself said of Nord Stream 2 during a press conference on February 7th, this is back in February, before the Ukraine conflict had even popped off, that we will bring an end to it, despite it being out of American control. But even long before that, the U.S. was sanctioning and bullying European countries into halting construction on Nord Stream 2 under the pretext of saving Europe from Russia. It reads on, it's worth noting that Europe didn't really have problems with Russia this century until the U.S. decided to make Ukraine an outpost for the State Department. Reading on. not only did Gazprom, Russian state-owned operator of the pipeline, that's right, did not say Russia helped create this. So the narrative that they did, End Time had a narrative showing that they alleged Russian subs were in the area. That's a false U.S. narrative, okay? From the top, it says, not only did Gazprom, Russian state-owned operator of the pipeline, okay? That's why I say it makes no sense for Russia to destroy it. They built it. But that's what the West is going on. It's locked in. From the top again, Slovakia. Not only did Gazprom, Russia state-owned operator of the pipeline persist against all odds to finish it, but it's really the only leverage that Moscow has in Europe, attributing to Moscow the recent sabotage of their own economic interests in Europe seems absurd. That's what I've been saying. It don't make sense, the narrative. It seems very absurd for them to destroy their own pipeline, but that's the United States narrative. But it reads on. The damage done to the pipeline now means that to prevent them from being completely filled with seawater and destroyed, Russia is forced to keep pumping gas through them and into the sea at their own expense. What exactly does Moscow gain from any of this? Conversely, what does Washington gain? Nothing less than Brussels' full dependence, which proved elusive when Europe could split its interests between East and West. Okay? I'm going to end it there. I might have to do a separate video regarding this. But I just wanted to get a Moscow angle. Because that's not a little thing. That's a huge thing. And family, again, they need time to get the evidence on what really caused that leak. Okay? I'm going to get one more precept. We're going to get one more precept. I'm going to wind it down. We're going to read out Ezekiel 39 and 21. And it reads, and I will set my glory among the heathen, and all the heathen shall see my judgment that I have executed in my hand that I have laid upon them. Because all this is leading to the deliverance of the children of Israel going into this final exodus. Most High will, it'll be sooner than later. Okay, Israel? And with that, give all praise, honor, and glory to Most High Power, Israel, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Double honor to the mighty men, the elders, and apostles in the community. Continuing to wake up the lost sheep of the house of Israel in these last days. Peace and blessings to everyone doing this truth and humbleness, sincerity. Israel, I love y'all. Shalom.